welcome back to the Pride of Salem in Tune. The opener is now in the marching band Google Classroom, so make sure you check that out so you can stay prepared for next season. We will be starting an online strawberry fundraiser very soon, and luckily we're all at home, so it'll give us something to do. Today we have an interview with Mr. Graham, but first he'll be doing a musical performance with us. He'll be performing Blue Monk by Thelonious Monk. All right, let's get started. So, welcome, Mr. Graham.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So the first question we wanted to ask you was if you would tell us about that piece you just played.
Oh, yeah, sure. So I sent in a video of me playing a tune called Blue Monk by pianist and composer Thelonious Monk. That's probably one of his most famous compositions. That and then another tune, Around Midnight, are pretty standard jazz compositions. But I can send you guys some YouTube links because watching him play is really interesting. I took a seminar on him and his music in college, and it was really, really cool to do a deep dive on just one player, one composer, and really get some insight that way. He's an interesting guy. Like you can see that by watching him play and what he doesn't play. Sometimes he would literally just get up and wander around the stage when he wasn't playing. So kind of interesting fellow.
And then what was your band/marching band experience before coming to Salem?
So obviously it's primarily as a performer. Actually started playing trumpet in 5th grade because where I was at for elementary school, you made the choice between choir or band. Those were your two options. And so for whatever reason, 5th grade me did not want to do choir. And then honestly, I can't tell you why I ended up playing trumpet. We didn't really do an instrument sort of testing situation where you try out trumpet, try out trombone, saxophone, all that stuff. And so trumpet, it just kind of happened. Really enjoyed playing in middle school. My middle school band director, Mr. Lawson, is one of the best in the business. He's super good at fundamentals. And so that kind of shaped the way that I approached teaching middle school. And then fast forward into high school, getting to play in jazz band and marching band is super cool. Those are probably two of my favorite things about getting to teach music. And so that's when I got started with that stuff. In college, for me, JMU was the choice because of the band program and because of the music ed program. And so being able to be a part of a massive 400 to 500 person marching band is really, really great. And it's really fun coming into college with a bunch of friends. When the trumpet section is like 70 people, it's pretty cool. Your first week of college, you get, a ton of friends, freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, whatever. So if you need anything, there are people that can help you out. And so that was really, really cool. I think thinking about, my time at JMU, I think being in the jazz ensemble was one of the coolest things, because we played a lot of different music. There were a couple of times we would do like a full concert of Duke Ellington stuff. And then the next concert would be something completely off the wall and like really weird. But that's really fun because, if you're going to teach music or you're going to play it, you have to be able to do a bunch of different things. And that was really, really fun. The music ed program at JMU is really, really awesome. From learning all the other instruments to be like the philosophy piece of like, why do we teach music in school? Like, what is the point? That part of the program is really, really strong. And so that was really, really awesome. And then, graduate from college and end up teaching at Andrew Lewis. So that's pretty much the origin story in fast forward mode.
How did BCI experience? How did it compare to like your college experience?
Do we want to retry the question, like for purposes of the video? I am 100% ready for things to get back to normal. You don't have to use technology all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's great until it stops working.
I believe he was trying to say, how old were you and what was your DCI experience like?
So I marched drum corps after freshman year of college. It was 2013 was the summer that I ended up marching. So Spirit of Atlanta was a choice for me. Because, and the thing is, when you go to a public school, like K-12, you go where you're in the zip code. But the cool thing about drum corps and the cool thing about college too is that you get to choose where you go. And so when you're making those choices, you have to make the choice that takes you to a place that you like the people that you're with and you also like the staff. And so the staff at Spirit was really, really great. The brass staff, the visual staff, they're top notch. The drum corps experience is different than high school and college marching band because those three things exist for different reasons. Especially thinking like the difference between college and drum corps. College marching band is simply different because it's an entertainment piece. It's part of the athletic program, the structure at the university, right? People want to go to the stadium, they want to do the football experience, the band is part of that. And then also it's kind of a marketing tool. Like at JMU, when we did Macy's, like that's pretty awesome marketing for the university. Like everybody watching the parade gets like a 1-minute performance from a random college's band in their living room, college marching band is a little bit different in that respect, that it exists for a lot of different reasons. And then also the educational piece, of course, like giving college students an outlet to play music. But in drum corps, it's all about, the process of creating this really amazing product. And that comes from being able to be really selective with the people that you take, because you attract really, really, really good talent. And that's one of the main differences in drum corps, is that everybody that's there is there because they've invested a lot of time and money and energy into being a part of it, right? And so that raises the bar so that you can do really, really incredible things. One of the greatest things about drum corps is being able to, you eat, sleep, and breathe the thing, which is really hard sometimes. But it is really, really awesome in the moment because it's a different, when you're on tour, it's a different place every night, a different crowd. And every stadium has a different feel, and, you're adding to the show, you're changing things. And so it's a grueling experience when you're on the inside of it. But the performing part is really, really cool. And just being able to dig into detail, like such such really, 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 really intense detail. Like our first camp, like the audition camp, the visual program was detailed to us, like where every part of your foot is on each partial of the 16th note, so that everybody's moving in the exact same way. And it kind of becomes like rocket science because you are talking about like anatomy and timing and all that stuff. But that's how you get to be at that level. And so now having that experience that I can bring to my students is really, really great. Obviously, we're not going to get to that level of detail, but kind of knowing where we are in the continuum of things and how to break down the essentials to get us where we need to go is really, really valuable.
So the opener came out recently. Do you have any recommendations for practicing it?
So the biggest thing with the opener isn't necessarily rhythms or really anything except for the keys that it takes us through. Even if you haven't played it yet, you can take a glance and see that there are some times where there are a lot of flats. There are some times where there are some naturals and sharps where we're not used to seeing them. And so the biggest thing is being comfortable with those keys. I'm sending the middle school kids the scales that go along with those keys. So hopefully they can spend some time getting comfortable with those key signatures. But, another thing that you could do is print out the PDF of the part and highlight or mark in every note that's affected by the key signature. That way, that you're playing the right notes. Because one of the dangers of us being separated like this and learning the music is that it's really easy in the band room when you're playing to hear if you miss an accidental or a note that's in the key signature because you're sitting between two people that played it right. When you're at home just playing the music by yourself, it's a lot harder to hear that error and fix that. And so basically it's a matter of learning it right the first time. That way when we all get back together, we don't have to delete all of those errors and the habits. And basically we'd have to start over. So it's just be really meticulous with knowing what notes you are playing, right? You can't afford to assume anything because there are some sections where like the instruments pitched in C are playing with 6 flats, and that's a lot. So it's just comb through, right, multiple times, like double, quadruple, check yourself and make sure that you have that stuff written in. That way you learn it right. That's really the only challenge in the opener is the keys.
We're going to switch to a little personal questions now, aside from band. So being home more often now with this whole quarantine thing, how is it being with your baby and your family?
I'm not gonna lie, making the adjustment to working from home it was kind of tricky at first. But there's a silver lining for sure, because we get to be home with Vivian a lot more than we would be, which is cool. It's like I said, it is kind of a challenge because we're juggling the school thing and working on the design end for band and all that stuff, and also like taking care of a child. But it's really, really cool to be there for a lot of those little moments that we miss otherwise. Like just a little update, Vivian is like really close to crawling. Like she'll get on hands and knees and then kind of freeze. Like, what do I do next? Like, I want to go there. What is the next step? And so that's really, really cool. So it'll make that first time she does it like way cooler because we've seen the lead up to that. So it's been really, really fun.
So continuing with the personal themes questions, how did you and Mrs. Graham meet?
So basically, long story short, we were best friends for a while first. So in high school, we met because of marching band. And actually we had a geometry class together, and that's where we got to be like best friends. Because, I'm not a big fan of math, and she's a little bit better at math than I am, but she doesn't like it. So we bonded over our math experience, I guess. But it was really band, where we spent a lot of time together. And so, it just kind of developed into a thing. And it's been really, really cool that the stuff that we've been able to do together. JMU was the top, college choice for both of us. So we were able to do that together as well. We were able to march in spirit together, which was really, really awesome to have those experiences. And now we were talking about it today, that it's really awesome that we're able to work together. And I know that setup might not work for a lot of people, but it works for us. Because at least, we're able to, now it's a family thing, we're able to do this thing together, and it has challenges. But it's band that brought us together, and that's what we continue to do. So that's really, really fun.
And then we have one more fun musical question. It's a hypothetical question. So you're at a party, and the party's starting to lose its mojo a little bit. And someone asked you to play the music. So what song are you going to play to bring the party back to life?
Without a doubt, the Jellyfish Jam from SpongeBob. It never fails to get people hyped.
Boom. Thank you so much for coming, Mr. Graham.
Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.